Beleza. Entrega endiabrada. Terminei a missão do Dr. Percival Walker. E agora a gente vai ter que falar com o gabinete. Tenho que ir lá pra Nova Atlântida, na Tamk. A gente vai falar com o gabinete de guerra, cara. Doideira isso daí, hein? Pra ver se eles conseguem liberar a gente entrar nos arquivos. Pra poder a gente ver essa questão dos terrormorfos aí especiais. Vamos lá. Vamos para Nova Atlântida, Tamk, na Tamk. A Tamk é esse prédio gigante aí.
Hey, let me know if we're going to head into the well, so I can watch
Eu não vou
your
para o
back.
poço, Sarah. Eu vou para Tamk.
Captain, over here.
Opa, e aí, Hadrian? Cheguei. Vamos nessa?
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure,
Tem mais
there's
coisa
one
que ela
more
não me
thing you ought
contou.
to
Tá
know
só se
before we
escondendo,
head
né?
there.
Tô
My
sabendo.
relationship with the UC, it's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I
Vixe!
am a clone of a man
clone,
named
brother.
Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated.
Ve
Old
Victus.
Earth
Eu ouvi
Latin.
falar disso daí, hein?
A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of
Eu
military
ouvi esse cara aí,
minds
cara. Tava
from
numa
one
frase
of
que
their
me falaram
most
desse cara aí.
respected tacticians.
Tá porra.
Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Ela é um clone de um homem. Como é que pode? Não era pra ser um homem também? Acho que não, mexendo nos pauzinhos lá, né? Ou, sei lá, sem ser nos pauzinhos. Tenho mais interesse em saber o que isso tem a ver com a nossa consulta ao gabinete. Eu queria saber. Esse Vai Victis, cara, eu já ouvi falar dele, hein? Você é um clone de um homem, como funciona isso? Haha, isso eu quero saber.
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Tá. Esse Vai Victis deve ter sido um comandante incrível pra você querer clonar ele.
He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a
Entendi.
lot of death on both sides.
Doideira.
Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Beleza. Você não é seu pai. Se o gabinete não enxerga isso, o problema é deles, não seu. É isso aí.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast.
Eu mal entrei na você já
Or
começou a
if
putaria.
you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time.
Não, vamos nessa.
No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Seus olhos são vermelhos. É um resultado de processo de clonagem? Vamos saber o negócio dos olhos aqui.
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye
Tem
included.
os caras das minas,
Where
né?
the name Red Devils
Doideira.
came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Beleza, então vamos embora.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Vá, a câmera do gabinete. Vamos lá, né,
Sounds like our
Adrian?
cue. Here we go.
Vamos lá. Vai lá, vai lá. Eita, mas ela sobe 2 degraus de uma vez só. Puxa, é arrombada mesmo. Vamos nessa. Caraca, tô bonitão, hein, velho. Ó. Agora sim, essa roupa aqui tá massa.
Here on Vanguard business?
Eu acho. Câmera do Gabinete de Relações Interestelares. O topo do edifício. Tá, porra. Colônias Unidas. União das colônias, né? Na real. É o conselho, viu, brother? Vou até salvar aqui que pode dar merda, né? Vamos ver qual vai ser.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
A Hadrian deixou claro que era necessário tratar essa questão com a máxima urgência.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have 2 petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
Ué, nós ainda estamos tentando entender o que vamos enfrentar. Não podemos tomar decisão informada sem dados. Precisamos dos dados arquivados para achar um jeito de impedir um possível apocalipse terromórfico. Só estou aqui para falar o que aconteceu. A Adrian que tem os planos melhores. Pode me lembrar o que tem nesses arquivos? O cara chegar assim. Precisamos dos dados arquivados para achar um meio de impedir um possível apocalipse terromórfico. Isso daqui é mais dramático, gostei, vou falar essa.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon.
Tem que ter um cara do contra, né?
They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000?
Toma.
Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Ele era forte, né? Ele aniquilou a colônia que nunca teria previsto sua chegada. Isso é bem alarmante. Eu só sei que o que me disseram. O tecido dele é igual ao dos de Longinion. Eu vou falar isso daqui.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Se existe uma chance de o que houve em tal set acontecer em outro lugar, é preciso atender essa solicitação.
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Ixi.
Attention.
Tá porra.
An incident has occurred. Facility
É loucura, viu?
engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport.
Caraca, terrormorfos aqui, velho. Que loucura.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Que loucura.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the
mas
tools
a
we've
ferramenta à
got.
disposição sou eu, né?
You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am.
Beleza.
Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Bora lá. Ouça o gabinete. Vamos lá pegar um net para o espaço porto, brother. Como é que abre aqui? Cadê o net? Netão. Esse aqui vai lá pro fundo, né? Estação net. Net é o transporte. É o busão. Caraca, a negada tá tudo doido, velho.
Stop! We're trying to help you! That's it! Now hit him with everything you've got!
Peraí, calma aí. Eu tenho que atingir as galera com energia pra negada não morrer, é isso? A negada tá tudo doida. Lanchinho, pacote, não sei o que. Peguei isso aqui, ó. Tá. Ele não mata as pessoas, é isso?
Take him down. What are you doing? Stop fighting. Got another one.
É, caiu, não morreu não.
And that, my friend, is how we do things on Jameson.
Beleza. Capacete dos agressores, já incapacitei, velho. Ou não? É porque o cara tá no meio, né, velho? Aí caga, entendeu?
Why?
Aí, ó, incapacitei aqui.
Why? Why is it?
Behind my eyes, I can feel it.
Caiu também, beleza, tudo certo aqui, vamos embora.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence.
Fica na influência do Terramorfo, não sabia dessa não, hein? Isso é novo.
I don't know.
They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some
Projeção
terramorphs, they
fenomenal.
can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet.
Doideira, viu?
You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
De boa. Temos que nos apressar, vamos embora. Tem uma conversa?
Nat's unlocked.
Bora, 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 bora. Tem que salvar o povo. É igual de esperar, né? Tá louco? Espaço Porto.
Was that you?
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest.
Vou salvar aqui. O negócio aqui vai ser dojo. Ah, tem um terromorfozinho aqui, né? Caraca, bicho tem HP demais, velho. Pode, brother.
You can.
Captain!
Vixe, tá falando comigo.
Okay. It's not real. Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real. We have to put down that morph.
Esse terromorfo aqui é mais titã, viu, velho?
Every last one.
Bicho forte, mano. Vê se tem uma arma melhor aqui, cara. Essa daqui é boa.
Here! I'm over here! Oh God! Please don't let me die!
Vai morrer, vai morrer. Essa arma aqui é boa, hein?
Pity things had to end like this.
Se ele não morrer agora. As vozes não param. Que loucura, hein?
Experts. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad.
Tem
They're
mais?
holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, got one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Beleza. Opcional, fale com o esquadrão. Elimina o terromorfo. Cadê o esquadrão? Tem que falar com o esquadrão.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on you.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
Beleza. Quero que vocês cuidem do nosso retagado. Vamos cuidar disso. Fique em posição.
Your call. We're on the line.
Fica de boa aí, mano. Fica de boa aí. Negócio de ajuda. Negócio é meter porrada. Cadê o terromorfo? Cadê o bichão? Cadê o bichão?
Opening fire.
Aqui com essa arma aqui tá bom demais, ó. Só meter na bronca. Porra. Ih, irmão, mas é bala, viu? Ainda bem que eu tenho 1.300 balas dessa arma aqui, velho. Se não fosse, eu vou te falar. Vai demorar, hein? Sai do meio, Sara. Sai do meio, Sara. Morreu, filho. Morreu. Tem mais um? Tem mais um? Manda mais um aí. Pra ficar de boa, manda mais um. Caraca, mano. O bicho é forte, hein? Tem mais um, velho. Caraca, mais um. É loucura, velho. Eu pedi, né? Irmão, ainda bem que eu tô com dano, velho, pra matar esses bichos. Isso não dava, não. Beleza. Meu Deus, mano. Sobe aqui, filho. Sobe. Esse jetpack é muito ruim, velho. Saia do meio, senhor. Sai do meio, sai do meio. Bota na mão, esse cara aqui bota na mão. Já é feio, hein? Vixe. A voz, não me machuca. Brother, tô achando que isso aqui é gente, hein, véi.
It's over. Thank God.
Caraca, que loucura é essa, bro?
If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Que loucura que tá acontecendo, velho. Esses bichos aqui tão meio estranhos, velho. Esse negócio vermelho é meio estranho aqui, ó. Cara, acho que eu tô meio doente, hein. Deixa eu tomar aqui o remédio da gota aqui. Eu tô doente, ó. Clima... Ah, é negócio de clima. Negócio de clima é foda. Gostei muito desse jetpack, né? Ele só tem uma chicotada. Toma. Acabou. Por isso que eu vou altão.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. The universe put the right people in the right place.
Vocês todos resistiram bravamente. Vocês são heróis, não nós. Cara modesto, né?
Certainly doesn't feel like it.
I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Beleza, vamos voltar lá pra Câmara dos Deputados lá. Câmara do Gabinete da TAMP. Doideira. Foi legal isso daqui, hein? Quantos terromorfos eu vou matar aqui, cara? Os bichos são fortes, hein, velho? Não é brincadeira, não. Vamos falar com os caras lá e falar pra eles que a situação é séria, brother. Se atacaram na cidade é porque os caras vão liberar os arquivos, hein? Mas tá bem estranho isso daí, velho. Tô achando que eram as pessoas, hein? Deu gabinete. Gabinete.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
We're counting on you, Captain.
Ah, there you are.
Don't let my people sacrifice.
Oba,
I believe
cheguei.
we have some... Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Concordo, agradeço por isso.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Claro. Vocês têm certeza que essa é a melhor estratégia? Não posso servir de representante. Sou um Zé Ninguém da vanguarda. Por que não mandar um diplomata? Alguém treinado nesse tipo de coisa?
The cabinet wants progress and wants it quickly. You're already far more familiar with the situation than any diplomat would be. There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. The cabinet was unanimous. They want you.
Beleza, se você tem certeza que essa é a melhor estratégia, vamos nessa.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Vou virar cidadão da UC, sabia. Mais rápido, pode contar comigo, senhora. Que a cidadão da UC pode ter até casa e tudo, velho.
Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. We're dismissed.
Heroes were minted down at that
Beleza. Vamos nessa.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer.
E fechando essa missão, vamos lá falar com a suplente McIntyre para poder acessar os arquivos, né, sobre os arquivos da guerra para fazer pegar as informações do terramorfo, né? E eu tenho que convencer as duas casas. Deixa eu ver se são duas missões. Não, uma missão só, com amigos assim. Tenho que falar primeiro com essa suplente aqui para depois eu falar com a casa Varun e a Confederação Freestar para poder elas aprovarem essa abertura dos arquivos da guerra. Deixa eu falar com ela aqui.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs.